turn off the music, it seems. Sorry, homie. It would.
My vibe got destroyed because Brian had to push me out of frame.
Yeah.
I was like vibing everything.
He was in my window.
Pushing. He's just.
Hey man, you're in my shot. You're in my shot. I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you out of my shot.
Jeez.
I don't even feel guilty about it, guys. Welcome to the 400th edition of Geek Cypher. That is insane to say that we've reached 400 episodes. We've been doing the show. I think we can we can toss that in. But 400 episodes over the span of 7 years. It's kind of crazy. We've had so much fun doing these episodes. We've had so much fun being geeky with everybody, and we appreciate all you guys tuning into all these episodes. It's been a pleasure having the longevity and the ability to do the show for as long as we've been doing it, and to have I want to thank you guys being such a consistent team. We've gone through some changes. I even mentioned in my story, because I posted on IG to tell people this is the 400th episode. And, I mentioned that we've gone through changes, like we started with Gozer and Brandon and Toby. Those guys were all on the show when we first did the episode. Skinny, myself, and Jaws did the first episode at CJLO, 1690 AM here in Montreal. 2016, 2015, when we did an episode on Fantastic Cypher, when I had the hip hop show?
Yeah. I think so. I'm going to check my photos real quick.
Yeah, I think it was that far back. And then, we even won an award. We won Best Talk Show one year at CJLO, which was an honor. We appreciated the fact and the support, because that is a People's Choice Award type thing. So it was really great to win that one. And then, we loved doing the show at CJLO, and we wanted to continue. It's just sometimes you just want to be able to say certain things, even though on YouTube you don't say them in the first 5 minutes, but sometimes you want to let loose. This weirdo's always waiting exactly for the 5 minutes so he can drop his F-bombs and start swearing like a sailor for some odd reason. But
I gotta be white.
God. But yeah, so
you guys brought me on. Token white guy, that's what we do.
Yeah, once we
always have to drop the F-bomb.
Yeah. Once we left CJLO, we were trying to figure out doing the show outside of the station and doing the show and podcasting it. And it took me a while to figure out some of the details about how to host a podcast and stuff like that. But it turned into this, and now we, with the Free X Agents Media as a group, before that Franklin Armstrong Collective, we were able to have at our biggest, we had I would say 10 shows in the collective being produced by different people. One of those people, Rishi, went on to be a politician.
Oh, wow.
Minister of Small Business for the Liberal Party. And, and Chops and who else had a show? Denise out west. So, and then Kay and Nikki and just so many different shows and obviously, Wizzy is still part of the collective. Geek Cypher is still part of the collective. We're still doing our stuff. And we still work in conjunction with a lot of people. Lorena, who has Total R&B, is there. And it's just been great for us over all these years to work with all those people and to see the collective and Free Agents Media be what it is this many years later. So, I just want to say thank you, and I want to give a huge shout out to all the people, Mark and Lee J, and all the people who've been joining and watching us since day one. Proto Man, who's been a supporter, you had us do tabling at different events, Retro Expo events and whatnot. Michelle Franklin and Miriam Khan. We also Akeem, big shout outs to Akeem. Every time Akeem has come on an episode, it's been a complete insane adventure, but we always appreciate Akeem being there. And I can't even remember, we've had David Crownson, who Harriet Tubman Vampire Hunter, and we've had Kwanzaa Osijefo, who did the what's it called? The Black comic book, where it's a world where only African Americans end up with superpowers. Like we've had so many guests, we've had so many people come on the show over the years. Hilton, the head of BlurredCon out of DC, who has been on the show. Theophanes, who's been a guest on the show, who worked for Sweet Baby Inc. and did a whole bunch of cool gaming stuff back in the day, was a guest in our Star Wars episode and our 250th episode. Like, if I listed everyone, it would just take us forever. So, but to all those people, and Mobs for running the production on the 250 episode, and for Coolverse, who did the intro for that episode. And
did we ever get
Who?
Did we ever get Megaran on the show?
Yes, and we had Megaran. Yes. Megaran, the rapper, the wrestling fan, who we definitely should be getting back, because so much insight, especially now that WWE's on Netflix. He probably has so many things to say. But, those are all the people, and if not more people, that I want to thank. And, we're looking forward to doing I don't know if we're going to do 400 more. I won't speak for everybody on doing 800 episodes of a podcast.
I'd like to try.
Yeah, I mean,
don't you fear? We got stories for years about a crazy wedding.
But that's the fun of it. It's been a fun.
I just want to give one shout out because it's one of my favorite memories. It's given opportunities such as our friend Brian to interview Spike Lee.
Oh yeah,
huge. I gotta say that wasn't officially on the show, but it helped.
Yeah, that was
like to think, and that was an amazing interview.
100%. When my friend Laura asked me, it definitely did come up to the fact that we were at a party and she mentioned, Spike Lee's gonna be coming to C2 Montreal. We're looking for someone to host, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool. And she looked at me and smiled and was just like, yo, we should have you host. And then she her boss was there, and she looks at her boss. She's like, Brian should host. And I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? And it just turned into this conversation of well, you've been podcasting for how many years? And you've been doing radio interviews since you're 17. Why would you not want to do it? And I was like, I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds foolish of me to say no, but
and you're being bashful and all, but he was such a pro.
I got lucky. And one of the things I've said before, and I will always say for that interview, it was a factor of I was more nervous about letting Laura down than I was to talk to Spike Lee. Talking to Spike Lee was a gift. Me getting to sit down with one of the best directors, one of the people that brought fitted caps to the level that they are at now, that to me was just a gift. You didn't have to have cameras there. I would have spoken to Spike Lee without a camera, without a room full of people. I would have just said, yo, Spike, could I have 30 minutes and just talk your ear off? And getting to do it in front of a camera and being told by people that I did a relatively good job, and I appreciate that. That was great. That was a fun day. C2 Montreal was a great experience in 2019. It was definitely a highlight of that year. And yeah, so continuing the podcast and doing this stuff has been great. And, Ness, thank you for joining us, because that's another thing I've been talking about.
Thank you for having me.
When we were at your event this past weekend, which was fantastic.
How did that go?
I think I have to throw it in again. But when we were at the event, I was talking to some of the people who were there, and they were asking about the podcast, and I was telling them I love doing the show, but sometimes when you realize you're 4 or 5 cisgendered men just talking about everything in the world, you definitely might want more perspectives. So it definitely was important to me to have someone with a voice outside of just a bunch of guys. That just a bunch of dudes being dudes.
And an actual degree in film studies, correct?
Me? No, I wish.
No? Oh, okay. Excuse me. I thought you had mentioned that in the last episode.
No, she comes from the school of Tarantino, where you just watch everything and you can do it better than probably some of the people who did study.
I want to study film. I wish I knew that I wanted to do this when it was time for me to go to university, but
yeah.
Sadly, it's something I realized in my late 20s.
Again, it's not too late. I mean,
it's not too late. It's not too late.
It's not too late. One and two, you could still kind of get a good enough, not a good enough education, but there's a lot of good YouTubers that have a lot of good
that's what I was gonna say,
and stuff like that, and good podcasts too.
I might eventually and all that. Go back to school to get a film studies bachelor's degree, but
dope.
But for now, I'm just trying to get my foot through the door and start working, because it's really all about who you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the last things Spike said to me in that interview, and something that a lot of people took and should definitely run with, was we now live in a world where you can film a movie with your smartphone, so there's no limitation, and the technology is way cheaper. Like I have some of those lapel mics. There's the DJI mics that they keep making smaller and smaller. So like the accessibility to the equipment to record on that level is there. CapCut and all these different softwares to edit full or even short films and stuff like that are there. So,
and I only recently found out about this, but I recently joined CUTV.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is a university / community. Yeah.
Between us and the internet, they used to be part of, like, they used to be joined with CJLO, and then we had to split because of.
I had a feeling because there was something mentioned about it when I went to a workshop.
Yeah,
but
years ago
all
we
this
were
to
together.
say though, when you're a member with them,
you get the equipment.
You can rent the equipment, and you can make your own movie.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of resources. So it's cool.
Well, remember that show I was doing? My buddy had me Thunderstorm broadcast. It was like a series where it's like it's a while ago. But anyways, one of my buddies we were filming at CUTV because he was a member. And we were using their equipment and all their stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, CUTV is chill. I'm happy about the new direction. Someone that I know personally is on their board now, so I feel a little more comfortable and confident with some of the decisions, because there was once upon a time when we were all together, CJLO and them, and the people who were there were making some weird calls that things were what they were. I was a program director at the time, and it was a wild time to be there. I remember having to stand in a meeting while someone was like yelling at us because they wanted CUTV to be able to spread their wings and do whatever they wanted. And they were like yelling at the board. And me, who's not on the board, was sitting in the room, and I had to stand up and be like, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you are definitely not talking to me like I'm a child, just yelling at me. And it turned into a big thing. And at the end of the meeting, the guy comes up to me. He's just like, I just got hot-headed in there, and I'm really sorry, and stuck his hand out. And I was like, fool, do you think I'm going to shake hands with someone who yelled at me? Get out of here. And I just walked away.
He apologized. Some people don't even do that.
It was a fake apology.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've gotten that apology before.
Did you see someone telling him like, hey, you got to go talk to him? And
I'm sure I said it.
Came with his hand in his pocket.
When I stood up in the meeting, because he was yelling at the room, and I stood up and I said, I don't know who you think you're talking to. No one in here is your child. And I hope you don't even talk to your kids like that. And I was just like, and I looked at everyone. I was like, why are y'all letting him talk to us like this? What is happening right now? Because we were a room full of grown adults, and he was standing and like red-faced yelling, and I was like, what is happening right now? In what world?
He tried to trump y'all?
That's so odd.
Yeah, it was very weird. Honestly, I don't know many people who've experienced, like, you see people get mad. You see it on TV shows where people like get mad like that. But to see someone do it in real life, you're like, it felt like I was on a prank show.
Did you hit him with the looking around?
Yes.
Did you look underneath your feet? You look under your seat? Did you
I know he's not talking to me.
I would have. That's what I would do. I would just like,
John,
my seat.
You are doing what I did. I 100% when he was standing and yelling, I literally looked at everyone in the room and looked at him, because I was just like,
walked out.
I was like, this is a prank show. I 100% for a moment thought I have to be on a prank show.
You were in shock.
There's no world in which an adult yells at other adults and everyone just sits there and just takes it. I was like, what is happening?
I would have broken the swearing 5-minute rule in real quick.
Hey, Doc, remember
what was he yelling about though?
Exactly. Well, it's just,
if you don't go crazy. But
there was things that he wanted CUTV to be able to do that the board had to take into consideration the finances of the organization and also do things on behalf of the students of Concordia, because that's what the board is there to represent and protect. And what he was asking to do wasn't something that the board felt he should do in that way at that time. Not that it could never be done, but the way he was going about it was without talking to the board first.
Running before crawling. Gotcha.
Yeah, which I can understand. Like, if you're in charge of an organization, it's not always easy to have to go up above the organization to be like, can we have permission to do this thing we want to do? But that's why the board was there to make sure that you don't just.
Was he white and blonde and blue eyes?
No, not at all.
But yeah, something I always tell everybody is people think when you're the boss that you're going to be like Professor X and be like, oh, you know, they're there. I'm the father of everybody. But sometimes, most of the time, you have to tell people no. And you have to be a Cyclops and tell them, stop it. No. No. We don't have that money. You have that money? I don't have that money. You don't have that money. We ain't doing that. No. Do you have door slamming money? Stop slamming my door. You don't have door slamming.
That's great. But that's stealing that one. That's great.
That's the thing. Like, I was a program director at the radio station for 5 years, and I never had to. I yelled at 2 people in 5 years and regretted it both times. Apologized one time. One time I didn't apologize because the person definitely had it coming, even though that was not the way I should have handled the situation. It was just talking to the person multiple times, asking him to submit paperwork that needed to be done that they just would not do, and they just kept not doing it. And it's just like emails and calls, and then when they came in person, I was just like, what are you like? I just got mad. And the other time I yelled at someone, I was probably having a bad day. I don't remember the context of why. I just remember yelling at them and knowing I should not have yelled at them.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm just in a moment because I gotta get Dave back in.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
I was gonna say Brian hit him with the what was it, the I Shot You remix from LL Cool J when Fat Joe comes in. Who the fuck you think you talking to?
I'll just play the voice of
boot him off.
No,
but I mean, I'm sure this is an issue in a lot of art industries, but now that I'm trying to network a lot and I'm meeting a lot of producers and people who work in the film industry, and I'm taking workshops and this and that, I'm hearing a lot of like the back end of the board like having the wrong people on board, a lot of systemic racism, a lot of just so much conflict in general that a lot of filmmakers are dealing with. So unfortunately, it's a tough industry, like many others. But I'm hearing about that now, and it seems to be a trend. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the industry. I mean, Jesse Reyes has been talking about it for years. Jesse Reyes was one of the people. I'm going to sorry. For those of you who are wondering, I'm just fixing the display because for some reason, all of a sudden, everything went haywire. And after he made jokes about being a white guy, next thing you know. No, Jesse Reyes
has 5 minute mark.
Has talked openly about the industry and how in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. And has said like one of the reasons she's worried about where she is in the industry has been because speaking up on stuff and people trying to like solicit things from her. And she was just like, no, I'm not going to do that to get ahead like that. I will never compromise myself to do this be in this industry and be in this business that way.
Right.
And that's and it's true. Yeah. I mean, in the radio industry, I was blessed to work in college radio. I didn't work in the what people would call commercial or professional radio, as they would say.
Yeah.
Even though I would say we probably had more professionals than things I've heard. Like I've heard about professionals, quote unquote, in Montreal who've done and said things behind closed doors, and people who've had to be let go.
I mean, sure, it's not commercial radio, but it's still professional.
Yeah. Yo,
So-
that was one thing. CKT and CJLO and any other college campus radio station that you have heard, every single one of those people hosting those shows is putting in the work, especially if they have program directors like me, because I had people walk through the door and ask me, I just want to like do a show where I read the newspaper. And I'm like, what? And I just want to like talk on the air and like practice so I can develop my skills. And I'm like, well, that's what you do in your class. This is a radio station. We have a license.
This is the game.
This
like practice.
We're actually on the radio.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This isn't like, I don't know, G League. I don't know what you think this is, because I literally had to tell this guy, like, I don't understand what the outline of the show you're proposing is. Oh, well, I was thinking I could take like the Culture magazine and go through it And I was like, are you going to be working with the Culture magazine to develop the series and do interviews with people that have been featured and stuff like that? He's just like, oh yeah, maybe in the future, but like to start, it would just be, just like me reading it. I was like, nah, dude.
I'm there and have a mop with glasses on, and
that's hilarious. Can I just come in and BS the whole time? Can I come in and read the phone book? I think I'd like to hear that.
It's weird.
So random.
It was
so wild.
We got some headlines, but we definitely want to talk about a show. So I'll go through the headlines super quick, and then we're going to go into our View the Right Thing. BET orders first animated series Lil Kev based on creator Kevin Hart's childhood. Wanda Sykes, Deon Cole to also star in the series.
Isn't that just what Chris Rock did?
Yes, everyone hates Chris.
I was about to say, like, isn't that just a rip off a little bit?
I'd say no. I think the closer one, like I said, is Wayne Head.
I was gonna say Jaws. Yes, Wayne Head was Damon Wayans, right?
Yeah. So like the main character had a big head, and he also had a club foot.
Yes,
and that was like a big thing within the family, that a lot of his pain comes from him having a club foot as a kid. He beat up a lot of people with that club foot. He just kick him right in the butt, and he was just hurt. Apparently, so there was a lot of. If you look up their interview, the whole family's interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I think I was in the later seasons, like in the 2000s and stuff, and they bring out his club foot, and they're like, "Oh!" They all like freak out, like, "Oh my god!"
Wait, hold on. So when you say club foot,
he had a brace. He had a brace over his foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like,
I don't remember him having.
Like in Forrest Gump. Like he had the
okay.
Yeah.
No, because like I was like I don't remember seeing him walk with like a limp.
No. Well, that's it. He wore it when he was young, and it corrected whatever he had. But Damon Wayans had a club foot and wore a boot for most of his childhood, and it was one of the main characterizations of the animated character on the show. Lil Kev, I'm open to seeing this. I feel like Kevin Hart hasn't had a solid project in a minute. And this might do him well.
That thief.
A lot of foolishness these days.
Yeah.
A lot of money grabs.
But it's also but it's in his wheelhouse, right? Like that sounds like something in his wheelhouse.
Also, I would say going back to Dwayne Head, that was, I think, another reason why he also did Handicapped Man in Living Color, because he was challenged.
Yeah, physically.
He still, everyone still treated him like he was a person and normal, and they would go out and play with him and everything. And so that's why he made that character. He was like Superman, but he was just disabled. He was mentally disabled, but he was still saving the day and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I know some people were acting like, oh, that you can't do that. But he's like, no, we got letters from people that are like that. They were like, oh, you're showing us in a good light that we could still contribute to society normally regardless of how we are.
Definitely. I'm sure there are people who would feel a way depending on the depiction of someone with special needs, but ultimately, as long as you're not being an asshole about it, I think it can be done well. But I just think when it comes to Lil Kevin Hart, I don't know that this is the best move, but I said,
we'll see what they got.
Especially, I'm sorry, like I do not want to hate on BET. I'm putting this out there right now.
She's about to hate.
Yeah, she's about to hate hard.
Like, where's the Keem?
You guys remember the time that she said she
wait a minute
hated a Halle Berry?
You know,
she said some.
No.
She said something about how Eddie Murphy can't act.
Yeah, Will Ferrell just sucks. Who cares about Jim Carrey?
She said Will Smith and Jada deserve each other. She said some wild things, man. I don't know.
Why is Diddy going to jail? I don't get it.
Yeah. She's just like free my man Diddy. We're like, whoa, Ness, these are some dangerous takes.
R. Kelly, that was just lemon juice, baby.
Oh, okay.
Too far.
I was just riding his trail.
Actually, you started the Diddy one, but
I don't want to hate on BT because obviously it's one of the only black entertainment channels that we have.
Yeah,
but
still not black
owned.
Let's
be real. That's true. But let's be real. BET, I don't know if they're cursed or what, but so much of things that they put out have failed.
Yeah.
Very badly.
But failed, or they're pulling a Fox/Netflix?
No, they failed. They unfortunately. Yeah, some of the shows are just not landing. I think, there's been commentary. Some people have said one of the things with BET is that the people upstairs are.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'll let you say it then.
No, I was just going to say that I think it has to do with who's running.
Yeah.
the show. I think their team is just making mistakes left, right, and center, and it's unfortunately affecting the channel, and it's affecting what's being produced, and it's affecting the shows. I don't know. I just wish there was more for us.
They've gotten better. They've gotten better, but yeah.
But it's supposed to be like black culture community type television.
Well, black entertainment television.
Yeah, but
sorry, it's owned by Viacom.
But like, why would you make the heads? Because you're saying it's owned by
Viacom.
Yeah,
Viacom is.
Well, I think they were bought, right?
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is like, why not have the same heads at the top of the table? Like, you get what I'm saying? I can't.
Kenya Bears tried, I think he is a consultant at the top there now. I would say that some people would probably comment that the black experience is a spectrum that they want to explore all aspects of. But one of the problems with the depiction of some of the shows on BET is it seems like they focus specifically on one area of black culture and not necessarily on other elements of black culture. This is something people were saying a long time ago. I know they have gotten better. They have tried to make shows that would
keyword.
Yeah. But
I always fail.
Yeah, I would say that it's the reach that becomes a problem though, because BET focused so heavily on black culture at one point. I think that having a show crossover becomes difficult. Like, you can have a show on HBO that gets watched by everyone, but people in certain demographics might not give a show on BET a chance specifically because it's on BET. And I think that's unfortunate because, you know, I'm just double checking something to see if I'm right. Yeah. Boomerang, the TV series, was a scripted series based on the movie with Eddie Murphy back in the day. It was about the Boomerang
Eddie
legacy.
Murphy, Halle Berry.
Yeah.
David Alan Greer.
Great cast.
What's his name? Witherspoon.
And they tried to do the TV show, and the TV show had like a solid cast of young black actors: Tatiana Jackson, Leland Bernard Martin, Lala Milan, Taquan Richards. Like, some of these actors, you might not recognize their names just like that. RJ Walker. But if you look them up, you would recognize them from like all the different random teen shows where there's like one black character. Like, all of these young black actors might have played the unfortunate, but fortunately got to the chance to be on TV, the token black character on a teen drama somewhere. And then they all ended up on Boomerang. And Boomerang as a series, I watched the first few episodes and was just like, this is not a bad series. But unfortunately, because it was on BET, I don't think it got a chance. Whereas a show like Insecure being on HBO, similar, like the show Harlem, the show Insecure, the show 20-something, are all shows about like young black professionals trying to find themselves, kind of not a coming of age, but next phase after that. And all those shows are fantastic. Insecure is the most popular because of where it was. Because 20-something is just as good. 20-something even has crossover actors. Like that, some of the same actors that were on Insecure are on that show and still didn't do as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying they don't produce good stuff. It's
no,
yeah. They end up failing. Nobody watches it. Nobody. Yeah. And honestly, sometimes the shows feel like there's no direction, but it feels like they're a bit unsure where they're going, or they're trying to attack too many things at once, and it ends up being convoluted. And I think that also makes you like lose the audience, because if the audience doesn't know what they're getting or what they're watching, they don't understand. It's I don't know.
Unfortunately, the best thing that BET could do, and I don't think they will, because they've been trying, because they're part of Viacom's Paramount Plus family, the best thing they could have done at the time was kind of try and sell all their shows to Netflix.
Right.
Because the Miss Pat show with the comedian Miss Pat was on Netflix, is a BET original series, and is in its 4th season and isn't on Netflix anymore, but still has a following. And I think that's because the people who watched it on Netflix were willing to follow it because they like the show enough. Even if they don't, because Netflix, you know, I'm not that we're going to talk about that news, but Netflix with their last quarter announced that they have 19 million more subscribers. They're at 301 million subscribers worldwide. Yeah.
And they jacked up the price.
Tactics worked.
Yeah, the tactics worked, unfortunately, but
They're jacking up the price.
yeah,
It's all WWE's fault.
No, but yeah, the
Everyone
sporting stuff,
came in.
all that sporting stuff, all that stuff has helped them. And you know, the Super Bowl, the snow, not Super Bowl, the Winter Bowl or whatever people want to call the
Right.
Christmas
The
one,
live streams, yeah.
the live streams, all that stuff worked. People subscribed, they got the numbers up, they got a huge. The stock was up to like 1,000 a share. Crazy things were happening. People are really excited. Jaws is right; they're raising the price on on subscriptions on both the advertised level and on the all of them. Yeah, across the board, exactly. And you know, but Miss Pat series on Netflix, if you have 300 million subscribers and a little bit less than 10% of the people is watching a show, and half of that goes and follows the show on another network, you're still doing well. That's why Breaking Bad did well. That's why Better Call Saul got made. Like, Netflix has that power to make a show. Hell, we're getting the Suits reboot because of Netflix, because during the pandemic, Suits ended up on Netflix, huge numbers. Peacock says, oh, okay, well, you guys like Suits so much, come over here. We're going to have a reboot in 2 seconds. That's, you know, use Netflix. Honestly, one of the things that I think it sucks, but I think some of the network should do, use Netflix as your advertising agency. Like, sell your shows to Netflix for a limited time, sell them season 1, and then continue doing the show on your own platform and try and get people to switch over. It makes more sense. Yeah, because unfortunately I don't see how else you're going to compete. They're too big of a market share.
And that's just another way Netflix makes more money. You know, I don't want to be you gave a good idea, it's going to go in the ether, and
but Dave, but unfortunately Netflix is they're the big guys right now.
Oh, I'm not denying that's a great idea, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, we're already there.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. It's an unfortunate thing. Yeah, they. I mean,
if I had to say something positive about BET, it would be that at least they have like the two. Well, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 really good award shows. They have the BET Awards, I think the Hip Hop Honors Awards, and the Soul Train Awards, and those productions are just top tier. Everyone's performances, people behind the scenes, they're bringing their A game constantly.
But didn't they go down with those award shows? There was a lot of like controversy and conflicts with the artists that they had, and having non-black artists and this and that. Like,
I think the controversy was that or the joke that happened was his name, Childish Gambino. Donald Glover was on the show,
right?
And he mentioned that how come Sam Smith?
Yes,
sure.
Sam Smith has more awards than he does, and
he's a black.
And he's black, and he doesn't have as much show, and he has more awards than Will Smith.
Yeah,
from the
I think, yeah. The thing that Childish was pointing out to is the thing that we just said. Yeah. BET focused heavily on a certain element of black culture, and I'll say it this way: I once dated a Filipino girl who had almost exclusively black friends. And her and I were talking about BET one day, and I said to her, I like BET. I just am concerned that BET's focus is only on one aspect of black culture. And she said to me, oh, you're not really black. And I said, why do you say that? And she said, because if you were really black, you'd be down with BET. And I was just like, right. So this Filipino girl,
Boondocks.
Yeah, it's like
not a Filipino girl telling you,
but that's
telling you you're not black.
But this is the thing.
That could get worse if it was me.
But that's the thing.
She get that a lot.
Yeah,
that a lot.
That Childish Gambino
telling you that you're not black enough.
Childish Gambino and like the black nerd culture has always been dude. It's funny because we're talking about this in the 400th episode, because the entire reason this show started was because I said at the beginning, I wonder how many other black nerds there are out there that would want to talk about some of the stuff I like talking about. And I posted, and Wendell, Brandon, Gozer, Skinny, Toby all replied and all said, yo, I'd love to talk about this stuff. And we started talking about TV shows at CJLO, and here we are. Same. And that's the thing. Childish Gambino and all the black nerds You know, I once got a tweet from Ninth Wonder when I tweeted about being into like Greek, like Ninth Wonder posted something and I said, yo, I'm into Greek mythology. And he replied, oh, and like this little homie, I'm into mythology too. And it was just like, yeah, like there's a generation of Black people who don't fit into the stereotypes that, and I've said this before, corporate white America wants to tell people Black people look like. And that's what BET was at one point. BET didn't start out that way, but that's what part of it became.
BET made a very in the box idea of what a Black person is. And I feel like,
but again,
sure, there was good shows. Like The Game was one of the best shows on BET.
Yes.
But I'll say that before they got bought out, like if you find like really older clips of BET stuff, there's a lot of times where they're talking to artists and really getting into nitty gritty of stuff. And that's like more 80s.
Like 106 in Park? Oh.
No, like
like when they first started.
They're talking like the guy from Zap and all that kind of stuff. And like they'll find really good stuff like that. And then maybe closer towards the 90s, maybe 2000s.
No, I'm sure there's things that they did that were in the right direction.
By Viacom, and then obviously that shift.
But still, whoever was at the top making the decisions, like it's true what Brian's saying. Like there's no room for the other types of,
like I wish BET had shows that reflected Black nerd culture. Right. Like when I hear, and I know it's there, when I see Hilton talking about BlurredCon, and I was in the Facebook group and I see thousands of people talking about going to BlurredCon, and I'm just like, okay, there's huge communities, and you see all the Facebook groups and nerd groups, and you see comic and Black nerd comic books and all these things, all these spaces. You can't tell me that these people aren't looking for shows about their lives. Like there's a person. There's this a woman who is making, if I'm not mistaken, she's doing it on Kickstarter. I could be wrong, but it's a Black owned comic shop TV series.
Oh yeah, I just posted that. Quite a few things that were kind of happening right now. If you're a Black nerd. So there's that. It's a Kickstarter and it's doing really well. I think also there's like a new show coming out on BET about I think it's an animated show. It's like a futuristic Nigerian kind of thing.
Right.
Also recently,
Invincible Fight Girl, the anime.
Yeah. Also, there's a Black J-pop singer named Crystal K. She performed at an anime con in Atlanta, and she had a Black band backing her, and the crowd was all Black. It was just a bunch of Black anime fans going to see her and everything. So I mean, there's a lot of positive stuff going on. So
and that's the thing. Like I wish those things would also happen on BET, because BET has the money, and I understand that they might not necessarily feel the need to support all these things, but
like I remember,
I don't know, they would never have a show like Blackish or Atlanta on BET.
What? I'm sorry to sound shocked, but I just said like I would just be surprised.
Well, but I think BET, because BET has had shows like that. It's just that again they don't do as well.
Have they?
Yeah, Baldwin Hills and stuff like that. But those are old shows. But they've done shows like that. Like they had a show that was about the Black Beverly Hills, and like focused predominantly on like a Black.
No, but like Blackish, for instance, is like it's kind of like the Black alt people, the alternative, and I find that that's something that BET lacks.
I would have said it was like a more modern Cosby show, but not as like rigid in their blackness.
Blackish?
Yeah, a lot of people called Blackish a modern Cosby show. It's about two Black professional parents with a family of kids. That's exactly
but a lot of the importance in the show is that they're not like typically Black. Like that's the gist of it.
Like Junior's story throughout the entire series.
Not just Junior though, all of them. Like the daughter, the father, like Anthony Anderson. Like they're Black, but they're who they are. They're into, the dad is like he's a president of like a tech company.
Oh, the marketing.
Yeah, and so anyways, the point of the show is that's why it's called Blackish, because
when they did Mixed-ish to show about the mom growing up.
Oh yes, because she's mixed. Yeah,
I thought that was a good show too, and I wish they'd given like, when you see ABC cancel that, it's just like, well, this show is actually really good. Why are we canceling it? And it's like, nothing.
I think it's because they made a mistake of releasing that at the same time that Blackish was still coming out with all their.
Yeah,
it was popular at the time, and I feel like it was taking away from mixed-ish.
Yeah, maybe if
they weren't leading it in, they weren't doing like how Big Bang Theory did Young Sheldon, and it just kind of
but they were on at the same time. They didn't, because like Big Bang Theory ends and Young Sheldon starts.
Right.
Okay, I thought it was kind of like
some crossover.
There's a little crossover, but Young Sheldon is like it wasn't as like as big a crossover, like because Blackish is what 2 to 3 seasons before it's done when Mixish gets introduced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it wasn't a good. I feel like it wasn't good timing, and not only that, it wasn't modern. Sorry, not modern. It was the life of the mom growing up.
Yeah, so with her siblings. It was so good, though.
So it's kind of like a prequel in a way.
It was great. Like the fact that her grandfather was like this white corporate, very, very Republican type character, and seeing the parents and how. What's his name? Homeboy Zach Morrison from what's his name from Saved by the Bell? Why am I forgetting? Mark Paul Gosselaar, right? I think.
Oh no.
Checking.
But he plays the dad, and he's so against all the Republican kind of corporate Reagan era BS. And that was such a fun thing for me to watch because that threw back to like the Michael P. Keatons of the world. Like the like all those old 80s shows where like young Republicans were cool, and it was showing you a TV show set in the same era as that, where it's just like young Republicans were not cool. They were bad people. Like they were racist assholes. You guys put them on TV and made them, polish these weirdos to make them look cool. And no, they were bad people. Michael J. Fox might be famous, but he is he played a horrible person because he was a like corporate, a conservative Republican teen child of two hippies.
That was the whole point of the joke.
It was
made a Republican.
Oh, it was so bad. And here we are now, 2025, where like, anyways, we won't end.
I just brought that up because I just find
Deon Cole, Average Joe, BT, also very, very good.
All this to say though that I feel like there isn't enough shows like Blackish and like Atlanta where it's like Black people are not just stereotypical Black people. Like we have other sides of us,
I would say a show that's kind of like that is A Different World, a very old 80s, 90s.
Oh, I know it.
And you have people from all over, and they're all different. Like Cree Summers on there, and she's like more like the hippie Black girl, and then you got what's his name, Kadeem.
They lost focus on that. Like,
wish Grownish had done that, because Grownish was I always thought was
tapped into it a bit.
Yeah, but they didn't go full tilt. They were like all the Black kids.
It was still like an adolescent show.
Yeah, but the closest character you had to Cree Summers' free spirit was homeboy with the dreads in the fashion class, and his whole story was just like, yeah, I'm a pothead, and it's just like, okay, he can be more than a pothead. Like he's very successful, he's very intelligent. He had his sister come through.
He was more than a pothead in it.
Yes, but the show depicted him as a love interest, but he was kind of like yes, but they definitely played up the idea that he was a pothead who wasn't as inspired as everyone else. He's like living in this loft area doing parties now, and like, why couldn't you show us the Black pothead who actually still wants to get his degree? There's nothing wrong with that, with him wanting to be successful and educated. It's this weird thing of like, no, but he can hustle outside and see more profits and more benefits from doing it this way. So why is he even going to focus as much on this?
But that's all
kind of Diggy's character.
Diggy's Diggy's character was the one that was what?
Aaron was like a blurred, so and so is honestly like a lot of them they showed that they were blurs,
I will joke though, the fact that the Indian kid was the drug dealer, funny. I thought that was very interesting when they decided to make that role because that was so crazy.
He played it well.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video on YouTube that was talking about like how come there's like not a lot of nerdy black guys in shows that aren't like the weirdo.
Yeah.
And the closest he ever got to that summit was Kadeem Hardison's character in A Different World, where he was like motivated, he was smart, he could out argue people, he got the woman of his dreams. And then like once that show ended, you had season 3 Carlton and Steve Urkel for kind of the rest and even and like if you go back and watch Freshmen's of Bel-Air, Carlton's character for the first 2 seasons when darker skin Aunt Viv is there, like he's more grounded. And then after season 3,
the Tom Jones dancing starts happening.
It just goes like everyone is kind of more cartoonish.
Yeah,
I think it was part of their character development, though.
Yeah, I do have to pivot us though because we only read one piece of the news, and that was
you guys went down that rabbit hole. So I've been just enjoying the ride.
I just looked at the time and I was just like, we're not even gonna have time to go through everything. Swordsman might be coming to Daredevil Born Again. And then the next piece of news we had was the new voice of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man to Peter Parker, Hudson Thames, for some reason felt the need to say, my biggest fear was that it was going to be annoying and woke. Now, I don't truly understand. Well, hold on. I won't tell him to shut his mouth. I want him to, but I'll ask.
I won't ask him to. I'm hoping he will. But
my thing is, because I saw a clip earlier today, and I meant to send it to myself to play on the show because it's a clip of this woman who can't define the word woke, even though she's being interviewed and asked about woke.
Yeah.
And she uses it 3 times in explaining something. And when the interviewer says, what exactly does woke mean to you? And she cannot answer the question. and then she even says, this is going to be one of those clips that goes viral because she realizes she looks like a fool. So just to remind people.
Just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's woke.
Right.
I love that meme. It's so good.
The way that these neckbeards weirdos are using woke doesn't actually align with the meaning of woke. They're just using it to try and make anything inclusive sound like it's problematic. You can have a world where there's a black character, a white character, a Spanish character. No one's forcing anyone to write it that way. And if you think they're being forced to write it that way because of quote unquote woke agendas, which I still don't understand what you mean by woke agenda because it doesn't apply. Jaws, hit us.
In Spider-Man, was the character Scorpion, was he always Hispanic?
I don't know.
No, Matt Garg. No, I think he's Irish originally.
Yeah.
Okay. Because in the MCU, I think he's coded-ish as Hispanic when he talks with and then also in Into the Spider-Verse, he's clearly like he is cussing him out in Spanish. He's talking to him in Spanish, and so I don't hear the anger for classic Spider-Man villain being race swapped. But
I feel like using woke as this catch-all has kind of ruined it. Like when y'all first started using it wrong, I was just like, all right, but at least I knew what you were trying to say was woke, but now you're trying to say things that aren't woke. White people?
Black people.
Yeah.
Wokeness in here. It's too much black people. We're talking about urban. We don't like urban stuff.
Yeah, there's too many black people. There's too many LGBTQIA characters. There's too many, and it's just like, I get like if you want to do it based on actual percentages in the United States, and you want to be like, well, this percentage of America represents, and we're only going to put that percentage within the show. I'm like, all right, I guess you could do that if you wanted to really be true to it, But at that point, I would point out you probably need more women. I also think you probably need to change your demographic to include more brunettes because y'all love your blondes and y'all be putting them on the screen and creeping me the out all the time. You'd probably have some redheads. You'd probably have if you're gonna do New York, you'd probably have a significant amount of Latinos and Latinas because
someone with freckles on.
If you're gonna, freckles.
Italians,
like if you were gonna actually,
Italians. What is this?
If y'all actually wanted to do the thing,
what are you doing?
That's the thing. So when I see this young man who's now the voice of Peter Parker saying he was worried it was going to be annoying and woke,
and no notes, no explanation what he meant by that. Nothing. Just.
But like, why are you putting the word annoying with woke?
Yeah,
like right off the bat, it's like you're batting wrong.
I imagine, and this is the thing that's going to suck. It's going to suck to hear it but I think what we're seeing is in a world where a certain person has been elected and all the tech companies have bent the knee and Disney at Kiss the Brass Ring bent the knee, bent over, their noses are brown. They've done it all. And Disney is no different. Disney has also, they settled their lawsuit that they had with Trump because there was going to be, he was suing them over coverage that they did on their news channel, and they settled and paid him some crazy money.
Ah, boo.
And I think what we're seeing is, and Iger has said that we remember a couple months ago, like Iger had said, like, oh, we need to focus less on who the story, like who's in the story, and focus more on the story. And it's just like, all right. I mean, Acolyte, if we're going to be honest, some stats came out about all the shows. Agatha All Along and Echo had less viewership than The Acolyte.
Oh, but Acolyte,
really?
Yep, the stats came out. The stats came out.
The amount of hate, you would think it's reverse.
Exactly.
The amount of hate that people have for Acolyte, you would think they would have gone and watched Agatha All Along and Echo. But
the Acolyte that got what did it get? The Acolyte that got canceled. Remember, the Acolyte got canceled
for good reason.
You can say that.
I'm not saying that because of what people hated on. I genuinely wasn't a fan of
I didn't.
the
Yeah,
story.
I didn't
like,
love
I want to make
the
that
show.
clear because I realized what that sounded like, and I want to make it clear. I didn't like the story. The casting and who was doing what was fine.
Yeah, I didn't love the show, but let's see. Yeah, so Luminate 2024 Film and TV Year-End Report came out, and in the report there were notes and information. I'm gonna try and see if I can pull up because I put the whole doc into an AI tool so it could break it down because it's like hundreds of pages of stats and stuff. But it broke it down, and one of the things that it had in the document was that the Acolyte had more viewership than Agatha and Echo, but it got canceled. And it's things like that make you go, Disney responded to a reaction of people hating on something and cancel the show, not because it didn't have the viewership numbers, but because of the reaction.
But there's also a chance that maybe more people want to go watch it because of like the reaction to see whether or not they agreed with the reaction. That's possible.
Sure, but how does Disney know that? How do they know?
No, I'm not saying Disney know. I'm just trying to explain to myself why the stats.
Like they're the ones. They have the app and everything. They could look at the back end, see how long people watched it for, see how long people dropped off, and all that kind of stuff. That's what Netflix is doing. So it's weird. Like we don't. And then, again, all these companies don't tell you the nitty gritty of all their stats. So I mean, they might have more viewership, but we don't know how long and the retention was. But I mean, if it's more viewership than the other two shows, the other two premium Marvel shows,
right?
People are watching something that they're trying to get their Jedi fix somewhere.
Really odd.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find.
But I sometimes feel, especially with Disney, that they're more afraid of the negative comments than they 100%. Are.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm wondering when they're canceling the release of Snow White. When that happening? When's that not coming out? When's that going to get shelved?
I honestly thought with the amount of hate that Rachel was getting after some of her comments, that again, after I read them, I was just like, these do not seem that offensive. I don't understand why y'all are so mad at her, but
because people got to get paid.
Yeah, she's a
Latino out here online have to get paid, and they have to drum up any kind of anger they can.
Facts.
She's
a Latina woman.
Same with Anthony Mackie talking about playing Captain America.
Yeah, I saw that.
He said he was like, playing down the America part, and it's more about him as the character. And then people took that at him as being ashamed of America. But it's like, but didn't Evan what's his name?
Yeah, Steve Rogers.
Didn't the other guy, Chris Evans, say the exact same thing?
Yeah.
That's how that was played, or it's more about Steve Rogers as a person being the scrawny little guy in World War II, becoming this big buff superpower guy, and then realizing, do I stand for the country that wants me just to do their dirty work, or do I become nomad? And he becomes nomad. He literally becomes nomad.
But I also find that I think, how can I say, was a lie will travel the world twice over before the truth moves afoot type thing. And that's I think that's the fear that comes from Disney. It's like one bad press release from somebody, because I read the Mackie comments earlier today, and I was there. I'm like, when I read it, I'm like, I don't get the problem. And then like I read some of the tweets, I'm like, you are someone who's so fixating on the fact that you love America, and you associate with the character because it has the American thing and all that type of stuff and all that stuff. But if you actually know the character, he's more than his country. He's an ideal. He's a symbol. He's a symbol, but it just so happens that he's from America. It's not. He's a good person. It's not. I'm a good person because I'm American.
He's Superman, but he's from America.
Yeah, exactly. Basically,
he's not
more or less
from another world that comes here. He's Superman, but he's from America, and he's like, I have some. I question authority, and I don't trust it all the time. And I feel I'm on the ground seeing stuff, and so.
There's no version of Captain America who serves with the military and doesn't see the problem with America, and that's the biggest commentary. Like any old version
that's
of
what's going to happen in the freaking movie. He's the president, the newly elected president.
And I don't say that only about Captain America, because if you did the same story in Canada or in China, or there is no version of a military, because that's the thing. Captain America starts out as a military character. He serves in the military. He sees the problem with the military. And even if he has this golden heart of true pride and the American way, he still saw a bunch of people do things that were probably difficult. Captain America killed Nazis. He had to murder people to protect the American way. You don't just walk away from that and feel okay. Y'all can pretend that the Captain America character is this, honorable guy. Yes, he's honorable, because I think killing a Nazi is killing a Nazi, and we all understand what you need to do if you got to do it, because these people would eradicate all of us. But at the end of the day, Captain America as a character has to be in the military, and then when he gets out of that and goes into like SHIELD and these secret service programs and starts to look at the system and go, oh, wait a minute, we're excusing all the Nazis so they can build us rockets now? What are you talking about? Like how do you feel like, we fought to kill these people because they were monsters, but we want to get to the moon before the Russians, so it's okay to bring them over now?
Remember in Winter Soldier, where he took down the whole super, like, we could kill anybody at any time, helicarriers? Yes. And because but in the end, it got taken over by Hydra, but still, he was just like, what the heck? No, you shouldn't be doing this. What are you talking about, Nick? This is not right.
Honestly, every time I think about what Marvel and Disney is doing, it's like when it comes to Marvel and Disney's plans for stuff, they lean so heavily at their core with military industrial complex stuff early on, but then most of the story is a commentary on why those systems are bad, and you have to move away from them. Iron Man, Captain America, all those stories are about the military is important at a certain time, but ultimately are not necessarily a good thing for the people. Iron Man is a one army machine himself, but realizes he wants to do good and stop selling weapons to people all over the world. Captain America
only when it affects him, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's selfish, but
he's starting industry bomb in front of him, saying, "Oh, this is my fault." Bam.
you know, Wanda in the MCU sees that bomb and spends a whole like week watching it. You find out in WandaVision, and it caused her to go a little nutty nut. Like we could see that there's problems, but Spider-Man, who has always been at his core a good character, street level character originally. All this to say, little voice boy, calm down and learn what these words mean, because you were about to be speaking a lot of stuff, and we want to know that you know what you're saying.
Remember, he got I think, like, when I read the article, what I read was him basically getting a Spider-Man script, rolling his eyes, then reading it. He wasn't like, "Ooh, Spider-Man, gimme." He was like, ugh.
All this because he voiced the character in What If.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he voiced the character in What If, and that's how he got the show.
Okay.
I was like, who's this random?
Yeah.
And then part of me was like, he read the script and he was like cool with it. And I was like, oh, so woke is not Black Osborne family? Okay. So I don't understand what you mean by woke.
Yeah. You could have a Black
I was
Osborne
annoyed
family.
that I liked it.
No, I liked it too. I liked it too. Let's talk about it.
So we only watched the first episode.
You only watched the first episode too.
Okay, cool. Because there's 2 out that are.
So first episode of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, we are getting a very quick jump through. By the way, I just want to explain to people off rip, this Spider-Man is not set in the MCU universe. This Spider-Man is set in an alternate timeline in which, instead of Tony Stark being Peter's mentor, Norman Osborn is his mentor.
Okay.
So
it's essentially What If.
Yeah, it is a What If. It's a What If series.
It's potentially what If season 3 should have been, but we'll only know that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So it makes me think it's close to the ultimate Spider-Man 2024, which I'm reading, the comic book, in which Spider-Man only gets the suit as an adult, and his closest ally is Harry Osborn, who's in his own Green Goblin suit, but they work together.
Oh boy.
So Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, we start the episode, we get some Doctor Strange action early on. We find out that the spider that bites Spider-Man is not on some a science expedition to some what is it in the comic book?
He goes to a what do you call it when you go to a field trip?
But it's insectarium or something.
They go to some science center that are working on
science center
on bugs, and they go to the spider area, and then there's one that's missing and bites his hand. He's like,
we changed it up. This is a spider from an alternate reality, or maybe not the alternate reality, because we don't know where Doctor Strange is from.
We don't know where it's from, but the only thing that's kind of weird is like there's no real the only thing that's kind of weird to me is that there's absolutely no reason why you should think that the spider is going to do that, and the spider technically lives, which I thought was weird because I don't know if you noticed that it walked away. It went on to somebody else and walked away.
Did?
Yeah. That was the one thing I took away. I'm like, that's why weird. Isn't it dead?
In the comic book though? The spider also technically bites Silk.
Okay, yeah, later on.
So that's why I think they're trying to imply that it bites someone else.
Okay. But
the action was good.
The action, I like that they skipped him learning that he was like
Really? I was gonna say I wish they showed. Well, I guess it wouldn't make sense to do that. Oh.
No. Are you still?
Oh, I froze.
Everyone
for a
else
second.
froze.
Sorry. Oh. No.
Oh no. Where did they
you
go?
Watch it?
Oh no, they're gone.
Damn. Right when we're
car. Oh,
that's weird.
I think everyone.
No, what happened? Are we still here?
Hello? Yeah, that was so weird.
Weird. It said someone joined, and all of a sudden.
Yeah, it said someone joined, and then all of a sudden, you guys were all gone off the screen.
We're having technical difficulties.
And then
you guys just froze and then disappeared.
Oh, very odd. Yeah, I don't understand.
Someone's messing with us.
It's when Skinny wants to try and join.
I know Skinny jumps in now.
Mix things up.
As soon as Skinny showed up, the whole thing went crazy.
IT guy comes in, all of a sudden everything crashes. What's going on?
Former IT guy.
Look at all these wild layouts that we can do. All right, so what were we saying?
We're
talking about Spider-Man.
The similarities between Holland's introduction in this one to Tony.
What did you guys cover?
Oh, we're just starting with the episode. We're only doing episode 1 though.
Dave, you said that you. Sorry.
No, ask. It's cool.
You said that you liked the fact that they skipped him learning.
Yeah, the montage. Let's put it this way: like, there's Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man are 3 people. You don't need the origin story anymore.
Not anymore.
You just need to know what if you're going to do it. Like, example, in this universe, what's cool is they did exactly what you wanted to know. Does he have an uncle? Did he die? Yes. The alternative, the thing that's not the same is he is bitten by a spider, but it's not at the field trip.
Yeah.
Fast forward, his mentor is
Norman Osborn.
Like, they did all the table setting while still building a character that you understand in the first episode. That was pretty rad to me. I think that was really well done because like you're not wasting any time. You're doing all, like, you could do whatever you want now technically in the next, like, obviously in the next episode there's going to be a few moments I'm assuming with Osborn, but like after that you could go running, which is great. I just don't like, example, it's like if it was like, I'm happy we didn't see Uncle Ben die and stuff like that, not doing the web shooters and stuff like you were saying, like, it's just better.
Yeah, I agree.
And I agree with your comment. The action was great. I agree with your comment there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think we're kind of fed up of seeing Uncle Ben die. We had 2 movies of that. 2 movies they did that. I know with Batman, we never really got an actual, like, him training to be a ninja and then taking that and becoming Batman. I think that was only in the Nolan movie. Even in the animated show, they kind of hinted that he was a ninja. And then I think in the Mask of the Phantasm, they were like, oh, this is him starting to be Batman. But you didn't see how that kind of married the 2. But yeah, I mean, we kind of get it. We kind of get it. So you're completely right, Dave. Just cut to the chase. Yeah. Put all that stuff, boom, 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 off to the races kind of thing.
Yeah. Because even some of the, like, even to a certain degree, Captain America is getting to that point. Tony Stark is getting to that point. There's a few characters I find now where it's like, we know. Or it's that there's one representation that is so good that just do it, and if people question you, just go watch that.
I would say Iron Man is definitely getting close to that, because you don't really need to know that he was kidnapped and put in a cave. He could just be a rich guy who built a suit for some reason.
I think the tricky thing with Iron Man is just you have to push whatever military thing they're doing like further out into the present. So before it was Vietnam War, and then it was Korean War, then Vietnam War, then you got to push it further. Almost like with what movie does Bruce Wayne see when his parents pass away? You kind of have to shuffle that around. The Mask of Zorro, it's Ninja Turtles the movie. I think that was
one version was Ninja Turtles the movie.
That was, I think, the most recent one in the comic books, where it showed Ninja Turtle, like TMNT the movie, like the 90s one.
In the Absolute comic, it's instead of his parents seeing the Mask of Zorro, Selena Kyle takes him to see the Mask of Zorro, and then all the other kids, like the orphan kids, show up. And I remember mentioning to you guys, Absolute Batman, the other kids are all the criminals, but they're all his friends, right? So he watched like the Mask of Zorro with Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin, and I think Killer Croc. I think that's a lot
of orphaned kids. Damn.
Yeah. But they're all like,
Gotham has a problem. They all became criminals. The system has failed us all.
Well, that's one of the things I will say. The Absolute Batman, they're not technically all criminals.
It's just them.
Yeah,
it's just them, but before or maybe not.
Yeah, they might become criminals. You are seeing things that show they will eventually become criminals, because like Edward E. Nigma has built a robot that was supposed to help mankind, but he kind of turned it into a robot that does things in riddles, and I'm like, this is already. You're like, all right, this is gonna be a mess.
Dead? No, isn't it? Ling Wu is dead. Must contain batteries. Going to sleep. Powering down.
Who asked for that?
This new Batman series, the Absolute Universe.
No, that type of character. When you said that,
Ling Wu,
the riddles.
Oh,
dangerous, crazy people who want to keep this riddle concept alive. Spider-Man, though, what are we thinking?
I was going to say, like, you niggas. What the fuck is wrong with you people, bro?
Like, to get out of the news, bro.
Sir, you can't just show up at the last minute and get mad that we're going on 10.
No, but like, when I have
it happened the whole episode
with my daughter and you guys are talking about Batman when it's a Spider-Man premiere, I'm like, nigga.
Hey, man, but honestly, why does that come up? Because everybody wants to tell the story with the origin story, and Spider-Man finally did it without telling the origin story, same way that they did in the movies, and I respect that. That's one of the reasons we're talking about the importance of that.
So we're gonna agree. None of you guys saw episode 2. I'm the only one.
No,
we
don't spoil.
Yeah, don't spoil.
Jesus, that's like a good laugh. What does that mean?
I didn't want Uncle Ben to be mentioned. I kind of like that they did away with Uncle Ben the way they did in the MCU. I'm not going to lie. I know some people feel that Uncle Ben's an important character and needs to be there. But I do also think that what they're trying to do with this universe is very interesting. Pearl, the girl that he has a crush on, is based on the new Filipino Marvel character that they introduced a couple years ago in the comic book.
I was wondering.
Yeah, so Pearl Pagan or something. Yeah, so she's there, and then the girl Nico is actually the girl from the Runaways. Like, there's a bunch. Yeah, they're doing this thing where it's like Spider-Man and Super Friends. Like, they're bringing characters from all these other IPs within Marvel into the animated show, and I'm like, I hope this is a good decision. I don't know.
But if they're all,
I'm not mad at it.
But are all those characters in New York? Because one thing that's annoyed me over the years,
not all of them is in New York originally.
But can we agree? One thing that's annoying is that sometimes you're seeing people like, oh, I grew up in New York, and you're like, how can you have like 20 or 30 main characters in New York and they've never crossed each other when they were young? Like,
New York's big, guy.
Yeah, but still.
No, but like Dave, there are people.
If you're on Queens, they're all in Hell's Kitchen. You're gonna meet.
No, but fam, like there are people who have been in New York their entire lives and never been to Harlem. Like that's legit.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to me. But yeah,
also some people could be coming in like, oh, my family got work in New York, so here I am. Boom, like that. It could be transient people, and then they're there for a few years.
We have EastEnders who have never been to Beaconsfield.
Yeah, but I gotta say,
one wants to go to
Nico. Like, yeah, Nico as a character though. They tried her in Runaways. I don't know why they picked her over Ned. Like, Ned has always been, or like, who's his other friend?
Like Ned who becomes Hobgoblin, is what you're saying?
Sure. But we've had Ned. Sorry.
It's probably because she's a female, no?
That's why the woke comment was made.
No. Wait,
she just nailed it.
No, but why is that woke to just make a girl?
Yeah, no, I think they're just trying to include...
So that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying he's ignorant. Yeah, true. No, but remember, he said it's not woke.
I know, but he was worried and stuff like. Yeah, that's why.
I just opened his mouth because I already want him fired. I don't want him there in season 2.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That's one thing I'll say. He's not necessarily doing a good impression.
Yeah.
Like, I heard the voice, and he's not as good as Yuri, who does it in the video games. He's not as good as Tom for the movies. Like, there have been other better Spider-Man voices, and aside from everything he said, when I saw the trailers, I remember thinking, this isn't a really good Peter Parker voice. Like, it's not inspiring me to feel Peter Parker. And then to hear him say stupidness, I'm like, oh, that's why you suck at the voice, because you don't even embody the idea of Peter Parker. Like,
he's also a musician first, too.
Yeah, that's okay.
Seriously?
Yeah, he does like CW folk type music as well. So it's like, I mean, like,
Selena
Gomez's main thing is CW money. Get out of here.
It's nothing great, but
if you're clinging onto that CW money and not playing by Marvel rules, you're a fool.
The one thing I'll say about this show is, and once you guys see episode 2, the mere fact, number one, you'll very much notice, and it shows in this episode, Peter ain't got no white friends, not one.
Right,
it's hilarious, but when they
kind of woke.
It's a more accurate depiction of New York.
It's more accurate to New York.
That's what I was about to say. Because I don't think
New York having only white people was a Friends and Seinfeld BS sale that they gave us,
but not one white person.
There are white people.
There are white people.
Yeah,
there are. They're just none of them surround Peter, and then. In episode 2, someone that is a a main portion of Peter's upbringing in terms of his intelligence, boy, do these people double down on thinking, oh, you guys think you're going to get your usual? Nah, we heard all those woke comments and we're doubling down. They double down. I love it.
No.
They double down. Yeah. I love it.
I mean, but we know
here for it because what Doctor Strange did from first 5 seconds of this show, which I also loved, which got me to watch it, was, oh, we're not supposed to be here.
Yes.
Uh-oh. And I was like,
yes.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes.
That was
yes.
All you had to do.
But that's it. I still don't know if Doctor Strange is in an alternate reality or if he's just in a different part of the timeline.
I'm pretty sure that's our Doctor Strange that did some shit. Said,
I know, but they didn't like. I want to say yes, but it doesn't.
There's no
fact. Like, there's nothing confirming that yet. And there's definitely Doctor Stranges in all the universes because we've seen in his own movie that there's multiple. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if that's him, but I'm hoping.
Him, comic guy, movie buff, comic guy, skinny. We all know that's Doctor Strange from our dad. We know that. We can't.
I'm hoping. I just don't know.
He looks it.
I would want the show to let me know. That's how I'm going to look at it. Let the show tell me.
Yeah, that's it. I want to see the show tell me.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume. That's all I'm saying. It's true.
I feel like just the line alone where he's like, we're not supposed to be here. Like, I feel like that.
Well, I felt that had more to do with the fact that he dropped a monster in front of the school. I would equally say, oh shit, I'm not supposed to be here. There were children there. That was a very dangerous situation.
Oh, I thought it was more because of the alternate universe. But
I mean, but that's what we're saying. The reading, like, if you're a good script writer, you do that so that people think, oh, this is Doctor Strange. Yeah. And on top of that, the line can also be read as, oh, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be bringing a monster to an high school in Midtown Manhattan.
Where you can think of it 2 ways,
yeah. People might die. Oh no.
Man, the Sorcerer Supreme. What the hell?
Yeah. I was actually I was hoping that Wong was going to show up. I'm not going to lie.
That's superhero. I mean,
Doctor Strange.
He's my favorite.
Oh, you have a very interesting. We will need to dissect that one day. Your favorite character is the emotionally broken guy.
Yeah, cease to surprise me.
Yeah.
Now your comments of like Will Ferrell and Jim Carrey are starting to make sense from
but
a few
episodes
ago.
His personality. It's not because of his personality. I'm actually really fascinated with his powers.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, that's
he has the coolest abilities.
That's like why I love Black Bolt. Black Bolt is a fantastic character from the perspective of having the most dangerous weapon that he can just never use.
Yeah, I also love Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is also one of my favorites.
You like magic users.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You would fuck with Doom then.
She's a conjurer.
Yeah, have you ever read Doom's run when he becomes Sorcerer Supreme and stuff?
No.
Oh, homie, we gotta hook you up. That's a great run.
More legit. Doom, Sorcerer Supreme sounds legit, but every time they show or show Doctor Strange as the sorcerer, I'm like, he seems like he just kind of fell ass backwards into that role.
Yeah.
Like this guy is just so
a lot of his story is.
How is he just because everyone else said Wong is still alive.
Yeah.
Was the other dude that's taking everyone's powers? Baron. Oh, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Baron
Mordo is still around.
Brother Voodoo took his shit too.
Hey, Brother Voodoo! I just got a figure.
Wait, the recent one from the Strange Tales wave?
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, I have that up here. He's a great.
It's beautiful. Love that guy.
I will say,
ultimately, I am gonna watch a second episode probably right after the podcast, but I will say, first episode story wise, good. First episode action, good. Performance wise, Nico, okay. Like the kind of Ned replacement, it's okay. I don't know if it's what I want yet. I hope to see more of that develop. I do want to see. I just feel like that Lincoln dude hopefully plays some sort of important character because there's, because there's no
guy who's dating Pearl. You mean?
Yeah, there's no Flash.
Isn't Lonnie a part of Flash? Like, I feel like Flash is going to get introduced later.
Yeah, if you're going to introduce Lonnie and Lonnie is friends with Peter because he respects how smart Peter is because Pearl told him that, I don't see Flash picking on Peter later. And that to me, I know we're probably past a generation of bullying, but one of the things that makes Peter is the fact that he was a New York kid who went through the experience of his high school, and because of that becomes part of it is he's a better person because he recognized treating people like this was wrong.
Yeah, like he was a nerd in the 90s who got bullied. Like it's part of it's David versus Goliath. He's always been that type of character, right? So you need the Goliath.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And if you're gonna get rid of Flash and some of the obstacles, and he's just at a good school with good people who don't pick on him. Not to say you need the hardship to make like the Steel, but I don't see Peter Parker developing the exact same way.
Yeah, because he can't be cool. You can't do Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, don't make Peter Parker just be friends with everybody and be chill. That's not what I want.
Can't be like that. You know, he could have one or two in those
friendly neighborhoods.
He is, but the neighborhood is fucked up and they don't like people. That's the whole point. Yeah.
Spider-Man's the friendly neighborhood. Peter Parker's the bum, like the loser bum in the school.
He doesn't have to be a bum, but I don't.
No, I'm just using it metaphorically speaking. He's not cool. He gets picked on. That's true. No, he's technically always depicted as poor. That his family doesn't have a lot of money.
You know what?
Yeah, he's supposed to be an underdog.
There's always some kind of hardship. There's always a hardship. He's got to go without.
He's consistently walking up. What's the guy who always the ball always comes down?
Sisyphus.
He's Sisyphus.
Yeah, the ball is always rolling down the hill. And he's always rolling it back up. Yes, yeah. That's one thing about like Batman's thing is he will always be a guy who lost his parents and doesn't deal with his emotions. Superman's thing is he's a guy who lost everything and he's raised on a farm in the Midwest and learns about being a good person from wholesome American pie eating mom and pop. And Peter Parker's thing is he grew up in the tough streets of New York being a white nerd who just got picked on and realizes that people ain't shit, but you still should save them. And I still need Peter Parker to say, you ninjas ain't shit, but I'm still save you. That's what I want.
Well, how they'll solve Lonnie. They kind of showed you a glimpse of Lonnie's family life.
Oh, right? Yeah, I saw, yeah.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, that nigga's getting shot.
Yeah, I was worried about
he's
that.
Gonna get killed.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
That'll be the sacrificial lamb, and then if they do a season 2, Flash will be introduced to replace him.
Is Lonnie gonna be the Uncle Ben?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Hey, okay,
Dave?
hit us, Dave.
I think it's gonna be Prowler.
You're gonna make Lonnie Prowler.
Ooh, but something bad will have to happen. Like his brother's gonna have to get killed, or something's gonna have to snap.
His brother was giving him attitude when he went through the door, right?
No. I think you two just hit it. I think Lonnie's brother dies and Lonnie becomes Prowler.
Bong, 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 bong. There we go.
Take that, you woke bastards!
No.
Where's my map with all the red strings?
Oh no! I really hope that doesn't happen now. I'm actually really sad if that happens. Please don't kill a young black boy. Anyways,
no, I mean, listen.
I was going to New York.
Oh no! Please don't kill a young black boy.
Oh my god,
that was a dark title.
Brian, watch episode 2 and just text me the minute you see what I was talking about. Please.
All right, I will.
I need you to react to that and be like, "Oh, wow."
I'm gonna. If I don't catch it, I'm gonna text you. What are you talking about?
I was just thinking.
My white privilege eyes don't see everything.
I was just thinking in my head. I got 100 guns, 100 clips. Yeah, I'm from New York. He's dying. He's bleeding out.
This is what happens when you get to 400 episodes, people. Ness, do you want to say anything before we? Because I know you have to. You usually have to bounce because you out there waking up at them early bird hours.
How early is early?
Anything you want to tell the people? She's up at like 4 a.m. doing fitness and stuff.
4 a.m. ain't nothing. That's cool.
4 a.m. ain't nothing. Skinny doesn't sleep though. He doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
He's a robot.
Yeah. I sleep between the hours of 2 a.m. and 7.
Jesus. All right. I'll let you go.
Anything to say? I saw Nosferatu. Did I talk about it?
I don't think so yet.
Hey man, they need to stop with that meme with the homegirl from Wicked and the Nosferatu. They need to show that. That's all I'm gonna say.
I haven't seen that meme.
I didn't see that either.
Don't.
Oh, like, perfect. You know what?
You know what? Doing this? Yeah.
I'm gonna go searching for it.
You know what? Shout out. I appreciate you warning me. Now next time I see Wicked, I'm gonna keep on scrolling because I already don't want to
see her like this, looking all skinny, and then they're gonna show right next to her Nosferatu. And
that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's fucked up, bro.
That's important.
Ariana
Grande,
but
leave Ariana Grande alone.
Hold on. Is Nosferatu good? I want to hear this. I like vampire films, and I'm curious because I don't like wasting my time with bad ones.
It was good. It was good. The only thing I didn't like was for some reason they gave Nosferatu a stash, like a mustache.
I saw that,
and I didn't. For me, it made him so much less scary, and he kind of looked like.
But was he a zaddy?
That's like your favorite term since last week.
You just found that term. You've been
no. It was on Insecure
I know.
years ago.
It may have been alive a while ago, but you found it a week ago.
No, I'm making fun of
it. Enter your vocabulary.
I'm just making fun of the fact that anytime has a mustache and a beard, it's the whole joke that like, oh, they've sexied him up. It's like, no, they didn't.
All this to say, with that stash, he kind of looks like Jim Carrey.
Yes, you had to say it.
How does he look like Jim Carrey? Doesn't have a mustache.
Ness is out here disrespecting.
No. Let me finish. He looks like Jim Carrey's character in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Doing the Running Man with his dad.
Obviously, it's not as like exaggerated, but it's I don't know. I just couldn't take him as serious. But the movie is hella creepy.
Place, people have like more little like accoutrements on their stash. They curl it up and all that kind of stuff.
I know, but like
stash wax.
But Nosferatu usually doesn't have facial hair, so I didn't.
He's not supposed to have facial hair at all. Like usually vampires don't have.
Why? Like why does he have facial hair?
Maybe he glued
it on. The blood's gonna get all up in that.
Blood's gonna get up all in that. That should be the thing. That should be the title. Why does he have a blood mustache? The blood's all gonna get up in that.
Anyway, good movie though. And I was really impressed with what's her name? Lily Rose Depp. I was really impressed with her because that what is it? Idol that she did with The Weeknd.
Oh yeah.
She redeemed herself with this one.
Yeah, I feel like I think she needed that. She needed something to go really well because it wasn't looking good.
Is it a very gory vampire movie, or is it just?
I would say it's a little heavy on the like. It's very sexualized.
Of course, but that's vampire, so you gotta.
Yeah. I know.
No,
I like the way. I like the way.
I think they did it a little. I think they leaned into it a little too much, but maybe I'm just being sensitive.
Or leaned
I don't know.
it.
Oh boy.
But
I like what they did.
It's also like the story of Nosferatu, so like it's like I should have expected it.
The original one isn't sexy at all. Right? It's more like
I was gonna say the original is like 1929's like spooky vampire.
Yeah.
But I think
I know, but like today, like the modern age vampire is. You know,
can I just ask that they don't remake silent films into softcore porn? That just don't sound right. That's all I'm saying.
That's the thing. I feel like it was a little too. I mean, I get where they were going with it, and honestly, it was a great film at the end of it.
Okay. But wait, which studio made the movie, by the way?
I want to say A24, but I'm probably wrong.
Okay, I'm only asking because. It's Universal that owns the rights to all the other, like Dracula
type of.
Oh, then it's probably not. Hold on, let me check.
But that's the thing. So Nosferatu isn't a classic monster, but the Universal lot owns Dracula, werewolf,
Mummy.
It's
Universal.
But
it is Universal.
Wolfman.
Oh, Wolfman. Sorry, thank you.
Isn't Nosferatu and Dracula supposed to be the same?
I always thought so too.
No, because
apparently they're not.
Orlok.
Yeah,
right.
And Dracula's from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
See, I always thought. I always thought
different people.
I always thought too.
Jaws knows his vampires.
Yeah, clearly
he's been paying.
Whenever they talk about Dracula, they're pulling from the classic book that's in public domain, Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's where they're pulling from.
So and Nosferatu should be public domain. 1929 film.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely, that's why they released it now. Because
guys, so are we gonna make our own Nosferatu and fix it without the mustache? Blackferatu title.
No.
Blackferatu.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, please. No one asked for that.
Murphy,
please.
sir.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I can't.
Oh, we can. We can definitely.
Blackferatu.
You mean 1800s? Everybody's afraid of the plague, and the first black man shows up, and he's a vampire. That's a movie. Like,
Yo, skinny. Stop
is black.
spilling the
He's
beans.
black. It's him.
Nah, all we need is Blade.
Skinny's out here writing the script and giving it away on the podcast, sir.
Jesus Murphy,
Protect
sir.
your story.
I remember.
You find out it's not even him. Is he actually his accuser the entire time? Which is like the
Bend the paper, sir. Bend the paper.
Sorry, man.
Blackferatu.
Too many ideas.
I'm actually listening to the was it Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe podcast? And something they brought up about Count Dracula, I think was part of his lore, was that he needs soil from people that died from the Black Plague in order to like be around everywhere, kind of thing. He can't just not have that.
Really?
I think
yeah,
so.
there's a few vampire stories now where they've added an element where they can't sleep. They can't just sleep in a coffin. It has to be on soil from their homeland or soil from people who did. Like, there's all these different things. But because even the show What We Do in the Shadows had that.
Cool.
Moving the goalposts. That's why.
Yeah.
No,
true.
but apparently that was like a thing that was there, and then people just kind of glossed over it, and then they're like, you're going through the old free files again. Oh, what's going on? Is there anything else we could pull from this? Oh, soil. Okay.
Soil. Guys, we do have to wrap it up, though. 400 episodes. This is crazy.
Episode 400.
Yeah.
Make it.
Skinny, I did the whole thing at the beginning, but you weren't here yet. But yeah, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing some celebration. Actually, I mentioned it in my story. I didn't mention it on the podcast. We're going to be doing some celebrations later on in the year. We will keep you guys abreast of that situation. But in the meantime, we're just going to be continuing to do the show. I do also want to say a happy Lunar New Year, happy Spring Festival to all our friends in the Chinese and the East Asian communities, because it's that today's the day. So we're starting that new year, and
the more we age, the closer we have to give out more red envelopes, which is
yeah. True, we're gonna have to give out red envelopes to Skinny's kids. But yeah, shout outs to Ness, you didn't say it. I was thinking originally instead of Nosferatu, we were going to talk about how awesome your MTL movie. Okay, you're getting all shy and bashful, but I was there. I witnessed the room full of people with you as a host,
sold out.
Running trivia, sold out event. So
the Ticketmaster thing got sold out
once again.
Did you win?
I did not win. There was a ringer team came in second. That team, god damn, they were good.
I hate that I missed it. Something seriously came up, and I was like, I think Brian can, because I honestly thought you'd outdo me anyway. So I was like, Brian's good on his own.
No, but it was all teams of like 5 and 4.
Yeah, we were in groups, and it was fun. Geek Cypher gave out some prizes, gift cards, 2 movie passes.
Nice.
So it was nice. And I hope you do another one too. I know a lot of people. Like, the thing is, because you've done one like this, everyone that I told I had a fun time, they're just like, when's the next one? I'm like, well, it's a movie club, like a book club. So the next one's probably going to be a movie, and then we go hang, eat popcorn, and talk about the movie. I don't know when the next trivia night is, but just so you know, people want to know when the next trivia night is. Just saying.
Well, I am going to do trivia at the end of each session.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to be trivia of the movie we watched.
Right.
Yeah,
all right. Gonna have to dig deep for those, because if they all just watch the movie, that trivia better be hard.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, it's more for fun. Like, it's not like a serious. No one's winning prizes for that.
That's fair. Yeah, we're not sponsoring that one.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do another general type trivia.
You do it every quarter.
But it was hard. Big group.
Yeah, but you did great. It was a big group, a good turnout. He was saying you should make it harder.
No, I said every quarter.
Oh, every quarter. Sorry.
Oh, every quarter.
Yeah.
Well, next is actually going to be. February is going to be. We'll see.
Black History Month.
March is going to be an Oscar watch party. So.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
May all the powers in the universe stop Emily Perez from winning Best Film. Please,
I don't understand.
Please.
I don't understand.
Please don't let that happen. I would rather Wicked win. And I don't even know if they're nominated. That movie had a bear and a wolf deliver a baby. Give it the Oscar.
Peak cinema.
Yeah.
Sonic 3 for Jim Carrey dancing with himself and doing the cleanest Running Man.
Oh no, it has. Oh my god, why am I even talking?
13 nominations. It has 13 nominations. You don't need to tell me. Every podcast I listen to has talked about the fact that Emily Perez has more nominations than every other good film in Hollywood. It's crazy.
I need to watch it though, because apparently it's good.
Okay, well, that's not what people are saying.
This can't be right. Anyway, sorry. No, never mind.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about where you're seeing that it's good, because I have yet to find a single person say that.
Well,
it's a good
sorry,
movie.
maybe not the film itself, but I heard that what's her name's performance, Zoe Saldana. I heard her performance is amazing in it.
Is it okay?
I saw a clip
That's what I heard.
Her singing like one of the songs. I don't even
Vagina Dick song.
Songs.
Is it the Vagina Dick song?
Yeah. So
please.
stupid.
The ratings are not so bad though.
I don't understand, because I have yet to. I don't know anyone personally, and I have not heard a single podcast that I respect say it's a good movie.
Oh, Letterboxd though, it's low. Oof.
Yes, because homie, I'm telling you,
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 74. It's interesting.
I'm saying, like, I don't. It is the craziest.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, the detached reaction is so wild to me. Guys, this is crazy. An hour 35. We hope you guys enjoy a long one. It's been a crazy one. There's still a bunch of people watching. I appreciate that. That's the thing I like. Like, when the number goes up and we're towards the end, I'm always just like, well, that means we did something right today. We talked about some crazy shit.
Word spread.
Skinny, anything you want to tell the people before we bounce? I think you're muted, homie, because I can't hear you. Are y'all hearing you?
I am muted. I was muted.
There we go. Okay.
Because children make noise. I was gonna say, look out for a beat battle that I'll be putting on myself coming April 19th. I can't disclose the name because reasons, and I don't want to get sued, but that will be coming. Reasons being because when you participate in things that are quote unquote sponsored by Red Bull, let me know. They're not sponsored by Red Bull, and a lot of fuckery happens that I will explain next week.
Oh, I mean, I've actually worked for Red Bull events, so yeah, it's very specific to get a Red Bull sponsorship thing.
Yeah, especially when Red Bull has nothing to do with it. But anyways,
yeah. Well, let me know. Are you trying to reach out to the real Red Bull? Because I might still know some of the contacts there.
Shit, listen, if I can, maybe
we'll talk about that. Jaws, anything you want to tell the people?
I'll tell the people, thank you very much for watching us for all these years, and check out Transformer Slag and the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
Dave, 400 episodes. What do you want to say?
Thanks for coming by. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'll say one little quick shout out, just so I get to say it with the vampire films. Dracula 2000 has an interesting twist on Dracula. Go watch it. I really want to throw that in.
This guy promoted Dracula 2000.
I'm not trying to go on a tangent before we leave. I'm trying to say goodbye.
That's why you brought up another movie.
That's right.
All right, we're out, guys. Don't forget, check us out, Geek Cypher, GeekCypha on socials. That's the website. And we're out. Peace, y'all. Have a good one. We love you.
Bye.